Wow.
This oceanside Virgo is about to become the backdrop for an unforgettable.
I lost my place.
I think we were in the middle of number 2.
Okay.
Yeah, we were, if you keep scrolling down. There, I think we were
Narada.
at Narada. Yeah, Narada.
Narada was actually a son of a maidservant. He had no opportunity to go to school. He was simply assisting his mother, and fortunately, his mother rendered some service to the devotees. The child Narada also got the opportunity and simply by association achieved the highest goal of all religions, devotional service. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is said that religious people generally do not know that the highest perfection of religion is the attainment of the stage of devotional service. Generally, Vedic knowledge is required for understanding of the path of self-realization. But here, although he was not educated in the Vedic principle, Narada acquired the highest results of the Vedic study. This process is so potent that even without performing the religious process regularly, one can be raised to the highest perfection. How is this possible? This is also confirmed in the Vedic literature, Arkayavan Parashuvida. One who is in association with the great Arkayas, even if he is not educated or has studied the Vedas, can become familiar with the knowledge necessary for realization. The process of devotional service is a very happy one. Why? Devotional service consists of the Shramaham Kirtaran Vishnu. So one can simply hear the chanting of the glories of the Lord, or can attend physical lectures on transcendental knowledge given by authorized archayas. Simply by sitting, one can learn. Then one can eat the remnants of the food offered to the god. Nice, palatable dishes in every state of devotional service is joyful. One can execute devotional service even in the most poverty-stricken condition. The Lord says, Patram Pushpam Palam, he is ready to accept from the devotee one kind of offering, never mind what. Even a leaf, a flower, a bit of fruit, or a little water, which are all available in every part of the world, can be offered by any person, regardless of the social position, and will be accepted if offered with love. There are many instances in history simply by tasting the Talasi leaves offered to the lotus feet of the Lord, great stages like the Strara Kumra become great devotees. Therefore, the devotional process is very nice and it can be executed in a happy mood. God accepts only with love, with which things are offered to him. It is said here that his devotional service is eternally existing. It is not as the Mayavadi philosophers claim. They sometimes take the so-called devotional service, and as long as they are not liberated, they continue their devotional service, but at the end, when they become liberated, they become one with God. Such temporary time-serving devotional service is not accepted as pure devotional service. Actual devotional service continues even after liberation. When the devotee goes to the spiritual planet of the kingdom of the God, he is also engaged there in serving the Supreme Lord. He does not try to become one with the Supreme Lord. As it will be seen, actual devotional service begins after liberation. So in the Bhagavad Gita, it is said, Brahma Bhuta, after being liberated or being situated in the Brahma position, one's devotional service begins. By executing devotional service, one can understand the Supreme Lord. No one can understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead by executing karma yoga, jnana or astanga yoga, or any yoga independently, without coming to the stage of devotional service. One cannot understand what is the personality of Godhead. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is also confirmed that when one becomes purified by executing the process of devotional service, especially by hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam or the Bhagavad Gita for realized souls, then he understands the science of Krishna or the science of God. Avan prashaman masu bhagavagad bhakti yogata. When one's heart is cleared of all nonsense, then one can understand what God is. Thus, the process of devotional service of Krishna consciousness is the king of all education and the king of all confidential knowledge. It is the purest form of religion, and it can be executed joyfully without difficulty. Therefore, one should adopt it. Text 3. Ashra Dhammaha Purusa Dharmashaya Paratapa Aparapyaman Nivartanti Muryu Samara Bhatamani. Those who are not faithful on the path of devotional service cannot attain me or conquer of foes, but return to birth and death in the material world. The faithless cannot accomplish this process of devotional service. That is the purport of this verse. Faith is created by the association with devotees. Unfortunate people, even after hearing all the evidence of the Vedic literature from the great personalities, still have no faith in God. They are hesitant and cannot stay fixed with devotional service of the Lord. Thus, faith is more important factor for progress in Krishna consciousness. In the Kayatanya Karamatra, it is said that one should have complete conviction by simply serving the Lord Supreme Sure Krishna. He can achieve all perfection. That is called real faith. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is said that by giving water to the root of the tree, its branches, twigs, and leaves become satisfied, and by supplying the food to the stomach of all the senses of the body become satisfied. And similarly, by engaging in the transcendental service of the Supreme Lord, all the demigods and all the living entities automatically become satisfied. After reading Bhagavad Gita, one should promptly come to the conclusion of Bhagavad Gita. One should give up all engagements and adopt the service of the Supreme Lord Krishna, the personality of Godhead. If one is convinced of the philosophy of life, that is faith. Now the development of faith in the process of Krishna consciousness. There are 3 divisions of Krishna consciousness. In the third class are those who have no faith. If they are engaged in devotional service officially for some ulterior purpose, they cannot achieve the highest perfectional stage. Most probably they will slip after some time. They may become engaged, but because they haven't complete conviction and faith, it is very difficult for them to continue in Krishna consciousness. We have practical experience in discharging our ministry activity that some people come and apply themselves to Krishna consciousness with some hidden motive. And as soon as they are economically a little well situated, they give up this process and take their old ways. It is only by faith that one can advance in Krishna consciousness as far as the development of faith is concerned. One who is well versed in the literatures of devotional service and has attained the stage of firm faith is called a first class person in Krishna consciousness. And in the second class and those who are not advanced in understanding the devotional scriptures, but who automatically have firm faith that Krishna Bhagati or service to Krishna is the best course, and so in good faith have taken it up. Thus they are superior to the third class, who have neither perfect knowledge of the scriptures nor good faith, but by association are simplicity are trying to follow. The third person in Krishna conscious may fall down, but when one is in the second class or first class, he does not fall down. One in the first class will surely make progress and achieve the end result. As far as the third class person in Krishna consciousness is concerned, although he has faith in the conviction that devotional service to Krishna is very good, he has no knowledge of Krishna through the scriptures like the Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. Sometimes these third class persons in Krishna have some tendency toward karma yoga and jnana yoga, and sometimes they are disturbed by distributed, but as soon as the infection of karma yoga or jnana yoga is vanquished, they become second class or first class persons in Krishna consciousness. Faith in Krishna is also divided in 3 stages and described in the Srimad Bhagavatam. The first attachment, the second attachment, and the third attachment, and also explained in the Srimad Bhagavatam in the 11th canto. Those who have no faith, even after hearing about Krishna and the excellence of devotional service, who think that is simply eulogy, finds the path very difficult, even if they are supposedly engaged in devotional service. For them, there is very little hope in gaining perfection. Thus, faith is very important in the discharge of devotional service. Text 4. Maya tatan imad shravan jagad avakta mutina matani shara bhutani no na kamham tas avashita. By me in my unmanifested form, this entire universe is pervaded. All beings are in me, but I am not in them. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is not perceivable through the gross material senses. It is said that the Lord Shri Krishna's name, fame, pastimes, etc., cannot be understood by material senses. Only to one who is engaged in the pure devotional service under the proper guidance is he revealed. In the Brahman Samhita, it is stated, Paramahansa Kurita, one of the Supreme Personality of Godheads, Govinda, always within himself and outside himself, if he is developed the transcendental loving attitude toward him. Thus, for people in general, he is not visible. Here it is said that although he is all pervading, everywhere present, he is yet not conceivable by material senses. By actually, although we cannot see him, everything is resting in him. As we have discussed in the 7th chapter, the entire material cosmic manifestation is only a combination of his 2 different energies, the superior spiritual energy and the inferior material energy. Just as the sunshine is spread all over the universe, the energy of the Lord is spread all over the creation, and everything is resting in that energy. Yet one who should conclude that because he is spread all over, he has lost his personal existence. To refute such argument, the Supreme Lord says, I am everywhere and everything is in me, but still I am aloof. For example, a king's head, a government, which is but the manifestation of the king's energy. The differential government departments are nothing but the energies of the king. and each department is resting on the king's power. But still, one cannot expect the king to be present in every department personally. That is a crude example. Similarly, all the manifestations that we see and everything that exists, both in the material world and the spiritual world, are resting on the energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The creation takes place by the diffusion of his different energies and is stated in the Bhagavad Gita. He is everywhere present by his personal representation, the diffusion of his different energies. Text 5. Na kama santani bhutani pasyami yogam ashvaram bhuta varnaka bhuta sot mamatan bhutam bhavahana. And yet everything that is created does not rest in me. Behold my mystic opulence. Although I am the maintainer of all living entities, and although I am everywhere, still myself is the very source of creation. The Lord says that everything is resting on him. This should not be misunderstood. The Lord is not directly concerned with the maintenance and substance of the material manifestation. Sometimes we see a picture of Atlas holding the globe on his shoulders. He seems to be very tired holding this great earthly planet. Such an image should not be entertained in his connection with Krishna's upholding this created universe. He says that though everything is resting on him, still he is aloof. The planetary systems are floating in space, and this space is the energy of the Supreme Lord. But he is different from space. He is differently situated. Therefore, the Lord says, although they are situated on my inconceivable energy, still, all as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, I am aloof from them. This is inconceivable opulence of the Lord. In the Vedic dictionary, it is said the Supreme Lord is performing inconceivably wonderful pastimes, displaying his energy. His person is full of different potent energies, and his determination itself actual fact. In this way, the personality of Godhead is to be understood. We may think to do something, but there are so many impediments, and sometimes it is not possible to do as we like. But when Krishna wants to do something simply by his willing, everything is performed so perfectly that one cannot imagine how it is being done. The Lord explains this fact. Although he is the maintainer and the sustainer of all material manifestation, he does not touch this material manifestation. Simply by his supreme will, everything is created, everything is sustained, everything is maintained, and everything is annihilated. There is no difference between him, his mind, and himself, as there is a difference between ourselves and our present material. Because he is the absolute spirit, simultaneously the Lord is present in everything, yet the common man cannot understand how he is also present personally. He is different from the material manifestation, yet everything is resting on him. This is explained in the Yogam Ishvaram, the mystic power of the Supreme Godhead. Sue fell asleep. It's my soothing voice. There was a lot going on in that first one with the different where was it?
The one where you read like the last part of it, that chunk?
Yeah, the divisions, the 3 divisions.
Are you talking about the 3 divisions of yoga?
No, it's text 3, maybe. The three divisions of Krishna consciousness men.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it's not the same thing.
Yeah, the three divisions of yoga they talked about earlier, and also it was in the tail end of text two. So you're talking about
The divisions of Krishna consciousness. The third, there's a third?
Yeah, I think it's in three. Is it in three?
Yeah, it was in 3.
Yeah.
The 3 divisions of Krishna conscious men.
Yeah. So there's ones that have no faith.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. The
I still fluctuate when we're reading this into like acceptance and then anger and then acceptance and then anger. And I'm trying to stay with an open mind while I read this whole thing, but there was some point that Domenica was reading and I was like, I feel like I'm being brainwashed and I don't like it. But I'm like, just keep an open mind and it's okay.
I have to say, it is tough to keep an open mind when you're reading stuff that basically places people on different levels, especially when one of the first things that was kind of hammered into my head when I started doing yoga a long time ago, for me, a long time ago, was acceptance. You don't necessarily have to cave into what other people are doing, but it is acceptance of where they are at the moment. And that helps you to accept certain things in yourself. And if you accept them, maybe you have a shot at changing something that you might want to change. So, living a little bit better life or something like that. So and this happens repeatedly, even the 3 types of yoga are classed into good, better, and best, when it's hard to read that and not have some response because it seems very judgmental, and judgmental is kind of the opposite of acceptance. And if Amanda were here, she might say, well, maybe there's something in between judgment and acceptance, and that is understanding, but it still is a rank order thing. And maybe that's what triggers me, Pam.
Yeah. I would say even understanding, but also going always back to compassion, which I guess is part of understanding.
Yeah.
For me. Yeah, I mean, the rank order thing is from the start, though. They even rank order species, like in the intelligent order, right?
Yeah.
Like it's never, but we're so taught, like I'm trying to think of this as very matter of fact versus judgment. Like, whereas we rank things out of judgment versus they ranking things of just like, this is how it is. Like, and that's the difference of me trying to have an open mind. I'm like, stop getting so defensive over this. But then I really liked the last part that you read because I really felt like this is the part where actual like organized religion confused the heck out of me growing up and still does. But I'm trying to think about it as what like Amanda says about the universal. I felt like this was like a little introduction about this personal creature being the universal energy. Because when I was growing up, this was not explained to me properly or in a way I could understand. And I would just be like, wait, so there's a person, but he's also, and I think at that point he was still a he. So like it was a he. And it was like he is also in everything. And like that's a scary thing to tell somebody. Like there's something watching me all the time. I still don't. I just because I don't practice it, I mean, maybe once I finish this whole book, I like I don't know how to have faith. It's a hard thing for me. And in yoga, we call this like this idea of surrendering and faith. It's the hardest part of my yoga practice. So
But faith as in believing in something, or
yeah, or like just whatever faith, like it's hard for me to be like, oh, I have faith in this. Like I don't know if that's something I say very or believe very often.
I think
yeah.
faith is trying to believe in something that you don't understand and that you can't comprehend, but you accept that it is reality, or at least that's how I read it.
Yeah, no, I get it, but I don't know if I can. It's hard. It's easy for me to say I do. Like I can say I believe in the universe unicorn, but like in my core, do I really? And like that becomes like my truthfulness. And like I think that's where you get into the different levels. Like I could very easily see myself between the second and third level of Krishna conscious men. Like I'm definitely not the first, but I'm somewhere maybe between second and third. And I'm okay with that. I'm not like, oh, I want to do this so I become a faith person. And it's also a little scary because people that are that religious and that faithful are scary to me. I don't know why.
Mhm.
Cuz like sometimes I'm like, have they lost it, or are they just like living a healthy, like are they okay? I don't know. It's a scary, to me this is extremely like, this is scarier than like trying to do like a crazy yoga shape.
I guess maybe start with what you do believe in.
Yeah, no, I know I'm starting somewhere. I mean, where I was 2 years ago is different than where I am now, and that can change tomorrow. And I felt like today was like a lot of information.
Yeah.
I think one of the scariest things about people who have total and complete faith is that their entire world, and this is what this book says you're supposed to do, but their entire world is seen through one framework. And that is extraordinarily difficult to comprehend and to go for. So I am nowhere near any of those three levels. I stand there and say, well, there's interaction between energy and matter. There you go.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, and then they even pulled science into it today, and I was like, whoa. But I can see the energy part of it as being science, but like I don't know, pulling faith into science, other than it being universal energy, that part I can see. Like I can get this on a scientific level, but on a mystical religious level, it's a little bit more challenging, I
mhm,
think. I don't know.
It really messes me up when they refer to him as a person.
Yeah.
mhm, yeah.
When I keep bringing it back to the universal energy, then that's something I can believe more in.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll see. So we left off, we'll read number 6. Well, tomorrow's Wednesday, so no, tomorrow we will skip. And Domenica, you have a nice, safe trip with your son college touring.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm excited to get away from my computer.
yeah, yeah.
You'll be off from work for like 2 days.
Yeah.
That's good.
You know what I loved about college tours? Well, first, it was a lot of fun to see all those different places. I mean, that in and of itself is fun. But when you're on college tours and you usually end up in a group of other parents with their teenage kids, looking at the same college your kid is looking at, and you look at them and you just notice the familial similarities, the physical similarities, even how people walk, that it's absolutely fascinating. And then you think, well, wait, we've got that too.
Yeah.
But and also it's a combination of kind of a semi-sweet time to spend with your kid, because
Yeah.
this is it.
I know.
And then because
Crazy.
once they go to school, things change, not necessarily bad, but they do change. And so this is kind of like well, he's still home. He's still in my house, and he's still a part of our family in this way.
Yeah.
And it's kind of nice to have that.
Yeah, it's hard because he's the only one. So
Oh, yeah, that's very hard.
yeah, but it's okay.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, this is one of the things that strikes me as it's very much it's a natural progression.
Yeah.
Kids leave home at one point or another, and if you did your job and if the kid is healthy and well, then it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Oh well. Have a good time. Have a wonderful time.
Thank you.
I still remember I only wanted to go to one school, and we were visiting my aunt down there. My mom said, look, we can either go look for Dawson's Creek stars filming because it's in the same town, or we could go take a tour of the college campus. And I'm like, look, I don't know if I'm going to see stars, and I know I want to go to this college, so bring me to the college campus.
Yeah, yeah,
And I fell in love with it.
yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. It's a nice offering, the college tours. I always tell my mentees and like the youth, I'm like, just go tour campuses. It's like a free, fun thing to do.
Yep.
At least some of the schools around here do bring the kids now locally, but I never got to go to a college.
Yeah, no, his school was supposed to have like a week where they were going to take the kids around. Like, I don't know where.
I went to the local community college through my high school. I don't know if I missed it or what happened, but now at least I think some of the high schools do that. But when I was in college, I worked with the diversity programs to get the local there's 5 high schools in the area, and middle and whatever number of middle schools, we would try to get the middle school students onto campus for college campus tours, not to promote my school, but just to give them a college experience. And we would tour, go to the main buildings, they'd eat in the cafeteria, because food is the priority for any child and college student.
Yeah.
You give them food, and they would get like a little swag bag, like a few.
Yeah.
It looked good for the college, but it really was not promoting my college. It was one of my favorite jobs, because I worked as a college student worker planning these tours, and then we would have tour guides, like other student workers that gave the tours.
I love the student tours. I thought they were absolutely great, and you could ask those kids anything.
Yeah.
And a couple of them were salespeople, but most of them would like all of a sudden get honest. It was
Yeah.
Yeah. So the tours I did were a little different than the actual campus admission tours, which is what you're going on. But it's important for kids to experience, to be on a college campus. So
I love the fact you did it for middle school kids, because when you're that age, you hear about college, but it's this abstract thing over there, unless you have a big brother or sister and you happen to have gone on campus. It's abstract. It's just a very vague concept. And that middle school thing sounds great. You guys gave them something.
I loved it, and I'd love to get involved with it up here again somehow. I mean, it's been 20 years, but I'll never give up on this. But it was called college opportunity programs, and it was about discovering the leaders in the schools at a young age, getting these kids that could go good or bad. Like, they could be bad leaders or they could be good leaders, and just trying to keep them pushed on the good path and trying to promote diversity is a big thing everywhere. It was a big thing back then in a southern North Carolina town, that they had to force busing to get
the
school districts diversified, and then bringing them onto campus. But it was of all students would come, but it was fun, and it really was a great opportunity, because they'll think back to that one. time, whether they go to college or not. At least they had it's the same thing with like yoga or anything. Like just try it once, and you don't have to like love it or hate it, but at least experience it. You owe that to yourself.
Yeah.
You all do. So it's important. Like it's important for me to finish reading this book, whether I like it or not, or believe in it or not, because I owe it to myself
Mhm.
to try.
Mhm.
So, all right, it's 8:13. Let's do some breathing. I'm gonna we'll do some alternate nostril. We'll do bellows breath because I was reading it's good for springtime and kapha, and I have been feeling extraordinarily lazy, and I go back to doing my mudra where I put the thumb on the like the knuckle area of my ring finger, and I forget what it's called, but it's an energizing mudra, and you
Huh.
can sit like that. I haven't done it, but I was going to do it yesterday, and I said I'll do it today.
When we do bellows, can you go a little bit, like explain a lot? Because I get screwed up somewhere with the locking.
Okay, you don't have to. Well, yes. So the bellows breath, it's like a fan. Like we're moving in and out. It's not like that fast breathing Bhastrika. Kalabhati. This is Bhastrika breath. So we're like in and out evenly.
Okay.
And then the lock, I take a full inhale, and my lock is locking that root lock, the one at the bottom that holds like you're feeling holding in the P. And then the navel lock, you're pulling the belly button in and up under the rib. And then we've talked a lot about the chin lock, I think, in that other book. But I just tuck my chin down. I'm not like really locking my chin because it's a very intense technique. You might be doing it. I'm not saying you're not doing it, but I just drop my chin down. And then to release, and this happens a lot faster. I'm doing it in slow motion. And then to release, I lift my chin so it's parallel again. I let my belly go and I release the root and I completely exhale.
Okay.
So I release the locks and then I exhale. And it's a practice. It's like a feeling. It's not something I can see because it's internal,
Yeah.
but it's a feeling.
Well, the
Yeah.
lock is internal, but we did in the Saturday yoga class I go to, we did bellows breath, and the bellows is not at all.
No, the bellows is not
It's
internal.
your stomach is literally going in and out, and I got a big stomach, so you can see it going in and out, and it's really rather dramatic.
Yeah.
And but you're right, it's not as fast as a Kapali breath. It's more thoughtful, and you're literally consciously pushing your stomach in and out. And it's such it's pretty nifty. And I find that the locks go away almost automatically. When you exhale, your locks just kind of disappear.
Yeah.
So
Did your teacher engage the locks in between the rounds?
she didn't tell us to, but it was almost like a natural thing.
Yeah.
In between the rounds, you take a full breath, and then you take a half breath.
Yeah.
And then as soon as I took the half breath, it's almost like the locks engaged, and then I did bellows. I don't know if I was doing it right, because remember at one point back in the Hatha book, I was doing it incorrectly, but it felt okay. So
I have to talk to Amanda about that because I feel like I don't know if I'm supposed to do the locks in between. Like that's just how I do it. But that could also be like an in between the Kapalabhati breath versus Bhastrika breath. Like maybe you're supposed
well,
to.
we can go back to our Hatha book and look it up, because
Yeah, that's true.
Lord knows it's a recipe book. So
Yeah, you're right. You know what? I don't have the physical form here, so I forget to reference it. I have it on the PDF, but yeah, I'll look it up. But I'll do it today. If you have eaten and you have food or stuff in your belly, you may not want to do bellows breath. You can certainly try it at your own practice, but it's not encouraged. But I have not eaten breakfast, so I'm gonna do it. So you can either continue on with alternate nostril breath or just do nostril breathing. Okay, so let's just sit up nice and tall. Relax the body, engage the core, let the tongue go and the jaw. I'm gonna settle into the breath. In and out through the nose, letting it float deeply as you inhale and completely as you exhale. And then bring your right hand over to your face. Close the right nostril with the thumb. Inhale through the left. Close the left. Exhale right. Inhale right. Close right. Exhale left. Inhale left. Close left. Exhale right. Inhale right. Close right. Exhale left. Inhale left. Close left. Exhale right. Inhale right. Close right. Exhale left. Inhale left. Close left. Exhale right. Inhale right. Close right. Exhale left. Letting your palm rest on your lap. Taking a full breath in. Complete breath out. We'll set up for our bellows breath. So fanning the belly in and out, exaggerating the inhales and exhales, fanning out the belly. We'll take a full breath in, full breath out. Inhale halfway and begin to pump the belly in and out. Exhale completely. Take a full breath in and engage the locks, the root lock, the navel lock. Let the chin go. Then lift the chin, release the belly and the root, and take a full exhale. Inhale halfway. Begin the bellows. Exhale completely. Full inhale, lock the root, the navel, the chin. Then lift the chin, release the belly, release the root, exhale. Inhale halfway. Begin to fan the belly. Exhale completely. Full inhale, engage the root lock, the navel lock, drop the chin. Release the chin, release the navel, release the root, complete exhale. Then come back to your natural breathing, nostril breathing. In through the nose, out through the nose. You might count the breath in for 4, and then out for 4. We'll settle right into our meditation. Oops, set the timer. Bringing your hands together in front of your heart. Namaste.